Hello and welcome to another pattern recognition video. Today we are featuring the overloading tactic. So basically a piece is trying to defend more than it can handle and it's not able to cover everything. So here in this first problem, I'm going to try and do at least 10. Usually I do 10. So you can solve these along with me. Pause at any time if you need more time to think. All right, we just had a queen move here to help defend because we have bishop, knight, and queen all piling up on this bishop here. Now, at the moment, it looks like the knight, queen, and king are all defending. So 3 attackers of that bishop and 3 defenders. So it might look like things are okay, but we're going to see that one of black's pieces is overloaded and cannot cover everything, and it's going to cause problems. So take a look at this, see if you can solve it. If you need to think, as always, pause the video. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. This knight is trying to cover the queen and the bishop at the same time. So if we capture the bishop with check, the knight is kind of overloaded. Of course, if the queen captures, well then our knight will just capture the queen. So if the knight recaptures, well then the queen is unprotected, and that's where the problem is. So that's what we're going to do. Capture, knight captures, and now we can snatch this queen up, and we're also attacking the knight here. Okay, that was a 1079 rated problem. I tried to set these up from 500 to 1700 rating. If I go too much higher, it might get into more calculating instead of looking at patterns. But the basic pattern in the overloading tactic is when one piece is trying to guard, multiple points, and the enemy attacks those points, and that one piece is overloaded. It just can't handle defending everything at once. All right, on to the next problem. We have a queen pushing forward here, attacking our queen. And I mentioned this many times. When you're trying to solve a tactic, the first thing you want to check for is checks, captures, and threats in that order. Checks first because they're most forcing. So the only check we have here would be to capture this pawn, but then it looks like our queen could recapture. So I don't think we have a follow-up after that. What else can we do? And we're looking for the overloading theme. So is there a way we can overload our opponent? Our queen is protected. I mean, if our queen is captured, we'll end up with doubled pawns there, which is not so great. But what else can we do? Well, okay. Perfect pattern here for the overloading tactic. This is a good example. What we're going to do is go ahead and capture their queen like this, and then the pawn will have to recapture, leaving this bishop undefended, and we can just pick that off. So take a look at that. This is a great pattern to know, a nice, simple, easy pattern that, if you're able to capture one piece, that pawn is defending both. And once you capture one, the other one will be undefended. So capture, and then we grab the undefended bishop and go ahead in material. All right, on to the next problem. So queen doing what here? Centralizing, attacking white's queen. What can we do here? All right, another great example of the overloading tactic. We have our queen attacking their queen, of course, vice versa. So this rook is defending. Now, what if we could force that rook to move? How would you go about doing that? If you could force the rook to move off of its protection, off of this e-file where it would no longer be able to protect. Well, we can do that with a checking move. So as always, look for checks, captures, and threats first. Checks first, definitely, because they're most forcing. And you'll see that we can check here. The queen would be backing that up, so the king could not capture. The rook would be forced to capture here. And then the queen would be unprotected, and we can just capture that queen. So check, and the queen falls. All right. I hope you did well on that one. Let's move on to another one. The rook has just stepped back here. It was under attack by our queen, but it was protected there. Maybe it wanted to relieve the queen of guard duty so that queen could move. White's turn here. Do we have any checks? Well, we have this check, but the queen would just capture our queen. And is there any good follow-up after that? I don't see anything. So any other checks? Doesn't look like it. So now we want to look at captures. What can we do? What kind of captures do we have? Well, we could try and capture this bishop, but it looks like it's sufficiently guarded, unless we could find a way to overload one of these defenders, maybe the rook somehow. All right. Well, maybe we just add another attacker. With our queen. So that might be a possibility. All right, this one is a little tricky here. So we could just add another attacker. We have two attackers already. They have two defenders. Where would be best to place our queen? Maybe we go here, attacking, and we're also lining up on their king. So if we did that, they could just retreat. If they do, we can capture, attacking the queen. All right, I don't know. This one's a little tricky. So is there any way to overload one of these defenders? I don't know. It looks like we just go here, maybe. Put pressure on that. And the bishop would just have to retreat. But where? the bishop goes here, do we pick that off? And maybe we want to line up on the king and get some threat like this, threatening a mate. So, all right, I might get this one wrong, but I don't want to take forever. Okay, that's not right. So, do we go here? No. We're looking for the overloading theme, so do they want us to capture? But then they capture, we can't recapture. Huh. What happens if we capture? They don't like that. What about this one? They don't like that. So maybe we moved our queen in the wrong spot. Okay, yeah, that's what they wanted, because now if they move, we will capture, and that queen is, I don't know, I guess it's kind of overloaded because once the bishop moves, here we have 3 attackers, and if the bishop moves, we just pick off the rook. All right. And then if they try to counterattack here, then we just capture and defend. All right, that one was a little trickier. It was 1673 rated. So hopefully you did a little better than I did. Moving on, problem number 5 here. The rook is dropped back, maybe preparing to try and get behind this passed pawn in the future. Excuse me. This pawn is about to promote, so it was trying to stop that. All right, what should we do? Well, White has, this pawn threatening to promote in 2 moves. We could get behind our passed pawn, but then they could block. If they do, we just push up here. I think that'll work. So let's double check here. If we get behind our passed pawn, the rook, if it tries to block, we can just move forward, attacking the rook. And then our pawn can promote. But we have to watch out. If we move our rook here, and this pawn moves, and then we promote. And if they capture, we can't recapture because then their pawn will promote. All right. So that makes it a little tricky. I'm guessing we want to overload this rook, where it can't protect its pawn and this one at the same time. So do we go here? That's what I'm thinking. So we go here, Oh, they don't like that. All right, maybe we go there. They don't like that. Huh. Do they want us to take? They do. Now do we go here? No. All right. Do we push this? I don't know. This one's tricky. Do we stay here? No, to stop that pawn. Do we push this? But then if I push this pawn, he could go there. Man. All right. Yeah, this one is turning out to be trickier than I thought. What do we want to do here? Do we get behind that? No, they didn't like that. Okay. If we go there and promote, they don't like that. We don't want to give that up. And they don't want us to push that. Oh, come on. All right. This one is just being very frustrating. Do we go there? No, I do not know what the heck they want here. Do we go there? No. All right, this is ridiculous. I'm going to take a hint. Did it highlight something? All right. They want us to take that. Okay, so here's the overloading pattern. This one was tricky, so hopefully you did better than I did. You know, if they take, then you promote. So I guess they would have to move here to get behind their passed pawn and start pushing that. Huh. All right. That one was kind of tricky. Hopefully you did better than I did. All right. What do we have here? Rook to e6. Rook to e6 here. All right, the rook is unprotected there. Well, we could just go here. King would be forced to move. Actually, no. Rook could move up here and attack us and block. Then we could just pick off a pawn here. So that's a possibility. And also, you know, you want to look for checks first. We can just check here. And if we do that, I don't see, you know, the king will be forced to go here. I don't see a follow-up with our queen. Oh, yes, we do have a follow-up. We can go there, delivering a check. The king would have to run. So, you know, if the king ran here, then what do we do? Oh, we can go back here, I think. Okay, it's starting to look kind of crazy with all those arrows. So, I'm thinking we just check. King is forced to go here. Well, then our queen can deliver a check, forcing the king, you know, up, either here or here. We could trade off queens one of those ways. But would that really help us? If the king went here, we can just go back. All right, I think that's enough because it's going to harass the opponent. So we're going to bring our rook up, forcing the king forward, bring the queen up, unless we want to try something different. We could go here, threatening to move the rook over and go after the queen. The king would be forced to move here. Then I don't see a follow-up after that. So we'll just go with our plan here. So check. We'll start attacking. No, they don't like that. All right. Well, what do we have any better than that? Huh. Come on. Huh. All right. I don't know what they want here. I mean, I thought we should go there. Do we go here and attack their queen, but then they're going to start harassing us, so we have to look for a check, I think. Oh, we have a check down here. Oh, wow. Yeah, that works. Okay. So, yeah, that was a tricky one to find. So we're going here. They block with their queen. But now the problem is the overloading principle. The queen is trying to protect here. And if it's attacked, it can't take care of the threat of this rook moving here, attacking with check, and defending the queen at the same time. So now we just grab their queen. All right, another little tricky one. I'll try and do 4 more here. So here we go. Queen drops back, attacking our queen. So queen is unprotected here. Do we want to capture with check? But then they can just recapture. If they do that, or they could capture with the queen. So, all right, this is where the overloading principle comes in. So if we capture, whenever a king is in check, there's, 3 options. Capture the attacker, block the attacker, or run. Now, they wouldn't want to block because the only way to block would be, if our bishop captured here, the only way to block would be with the queen. So that doesn't work. The king cannot run because it's trapped by the queen covering any escape. So we have to, our opponent has to capture with either a queen or a rook here. So if the queen captures, it's being overloaded trying to defend the bishop and this rook. We have a possible fork this way. Okay, so if we capture their bishop with our bishop, and their rook captures. Well, then then we have this check here. And the only way to get out of that is to block with the queen, or this rook, which will just be lost. So that looks to be the way to go. So they capture that way, and now check. Oh, they have that move. Okay. Those bishops off on the side of the board, so you have to have complete board vision, board vision, or you'll overlook a move like this. So how can we use the overloading principle? Well, we could go here. Queen would have to capture. So if we take that, queen captures, then we go here with check, and we're just ahead in material by then. All right, so there, check, and that's all the further they want to go because we end up ahead by a knight here. All right, 3 more to go. Bishop has just dropped back. It was under attack by this pawn. The pawn could press forward here. We could capture that pawn. Do we have any checks? I don't see any checks at the moment. Should we just capture the pawn? And then we have a threat of going here, forking. And, if their rook captures here, then our pawn could recapture and promote. So maybe that's the way to go, although if we capture, they could go here. Then if we try to go here, he could capture. I don't know. That looks like it could be an even trade, but it's a little difficult to tell. So capture, rook attacks that pawn. If we go here, we're forking bishop and rook, but they can capture. Oh, and then we capture the bishop with check. And if they try to recapture, then we grab their other rook. All right, that might be a little bit much for beginners especially, but take a look at that, see if you can calculate it out. So here we go. Oh, and that's not even what they want. All right. Well, maybe they want me to push forward. Huh. Okay, we can try and use the similar principle of going here. Okay, they don't they are not liking my moves here at all. All right, now what? I guess we just attack the rook here, and they wanted to stop the passed pawn, so now we can just pick it off. All right, that one, let's go back to the beginning because that was well worth taking a second look at here. So they wanted us push forward. Then we have a bishop that is able to target. And then what do? If you move out of the way, and you can't even move out of the way anywhere, so you have to capture. All right, we just go ahead and material. All right, on to the final two problems. Yeah, these are a little bit tricky, and I haven't really looked at many overloading puzzles. So if you find that a certain type of chess puzzle gives you more trouble, you may very well want to look at those closer, and do more of those puzzles until you improve. So it looks like, that's a hint for me here on these. I had a little more trouble with these. All right. The rook has just protected this pawn. All right, what can we do? Can we overload any of these pieces here? The queen is covering a lot. Maybe we overload the queen in some way. All right, and checks. You always want to look for checks first. I don't see any crazy checks against the opponent. Anything that would help us. Okay, so we looked at checks, captures now, and threats. So when I say captures, a lot of times you're looking for any unprotected pieces, which they all look protected, or unprotected pawns. I don't see anything. So then threats. Well, we have this bishop lined up on the queen. Maybe we can turn that into some type of threat. Our knight is attacking this bishop. This knight's attacking here, so there's a lot going on. All right. Well, if we're attacking this knight, only the queen can defend that. Because the knight can't capture, or our bishop will get their queen. So looks like another tricky one here. If we could land our knight here, we could fork rook and bishop, but the queen is covering that. So all right, this one is just another tricky one. So do we just take here with our knight? Queen would be forced to recapture. I don't know. That doesn't pull the queen away, though, from being able to go here. So what else can we do? Do we want to drop back and add pressure with both knights on this bishop? The only place the bishop can go is back here, and we could take the bishop. All right, yeah, this one is looking very tricky. So if we go here, we're piling up on that bishop. The bishop would have to drop back. Not really. The rook could just come up and help defend. If that happened... Huh. All right. Man. All right, I'm probably going to get this one wrong, so I'm having trouble. I don't know. Do we go there? No, it didn't like that. Do we take that? No, it didn't like that. Do we go after that? No. So I'm not sure how we can overload. Man. Do we knock that out? No. Okay, we attack the queen. That's what they wanted. They wanted us to attack the queen. Oh, because now the bishop is undefended. So then we can just pick that off. All right, take another look at this one. So the queen is the only one able to defend that. So if we can target the queen can't go back here to keep an eye on that because the knight is still attacking that. So, all right, queen just has to run to safety and we're able to pick that off. All right, the final problem. Yeah, these are a little bit tricky. You know, feel free to leave comments and let me know what you think if you're having any trouble with these. Maybe I should have picked some easier ones, or maybe... I don't know. I haven't done any of these types of puzzles, the overloading principle, in a long time. I guess I should do more of these. All right. What do we have going on? King moved over here to help escort the pawn down, I guess. All right. So I think, well, if we look at this, it's going to take white some time to break through here. 3 pawns versus 2. And it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves to promote. And once the black pawn promotes, it's going to be aiming up at that diagonal. So if we have a choice, we want to probably push this pawn up and not that one. So maybe the first thing to do is go here. That would take 1. If they did not capture and just started moving their pawns, they would move 1. Then we capture. They move forward again. Then we attack. Now they're kind of forced to capture here, allowing us to move this forward. They move. We move. They move. We promote first with check. And that will make the difference. Because then we can stop this pawn from promoting by dropping down and guarding the promotion square with our queen. All right, here we go. And they're not even going to show us anything. All right, well... I guess, the option is they could capture, but then that'll allow us to push this pawn. Then if they push this, we move up targeting the other pawn. If they just try and push their A pawn, then we'll just capture and promote. So they would have to capture. Then we can push this pawn. And the king would not be able to stop us. So they would have to push. We go, they go. We promote with check, and that would be winning. So the other option would be to ignore that. Push, we capture, they keep pushing forward, we go here. Now, let's see, I guess I could play this out on the analysis board. All right, so let's go, where are we at? G4, or king captured a pawn here. And then we push G4, and that's the best. So then their best move is to capture. But if they ignore like this, then, oh, they actually want us, we have an even better move. We can just play G5. And if they keep pushing, we play that. And so their best thing to do is to capture. We capture. They try and promote, but we're going to promote first with check. So F8 check. And now if the king tries to protect the pawn, we have this move. We get on the diagonal here. So, you know, any way we want to do it. But this will stop the pawn from promoting. The king cannot move down here to help promote it. You know, if the king tries to go around the diagonal here, well, then we can just go here. And then what? It tries to protect. We can let our queen sit there and go pick off the other pawn and then promote that one. All right. Well, you know, feel free to leave comments, like and subscribe to support the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and have a super chess day.